A to the K.
To the K.
To the K.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to It's K Wrestling Show. We're back with some more wild predictions.
Once again. I mean, I feel like these are probably going to be quite tame to what actually happened in 23.
Yeah, to be fair. But we did this last year, and I had some wild predictions.
Did we get any right?
A couple rights, not many.
Okay.
But a couple.
I'll do.
And, from about an average perspective, I don't mind that.
Like Hall of Fame with.
Yeah, I don't mind that. So these may come true. They may not be completely accurate, but still. I also don't know how wild they actually are. I'll let you be the judge of that. Because
if need be, we can just turn a W upside down.
Yeah. Probably won't get as many clicks, as many plays.
I get you. It's all about that clickbait.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, these are our wild predictions. Say are. They're my wild predictions. I don't know whether you know them all either, so you'll be live reacting to these as I tell you them.
Live reacting on recording.
Yes.
Take two.
But yeah, as you said, after all the crazy shit that's happened this year, who knows? We could have probably gone even crazier. But let's kick off with the first one, shall we?
Yeah.
My first wild prediction of 2024, Jade Cargill will make her WWE debut at the Royal Rumble and wins the whole fucking thing.
I'd love that to be the case. And I like to think that that's why they've held her back from appearing anywhere, to be honest with you. But I do worry that they're just not really sure what they want to do with it. But I actually think that would be fucking...
I wonder whether all this stuff around she's not ready, she needs more training and all that it's twofold genius from WWE. So on the one hand, it's clickbait and attacking at AEW, but the other hand throws people off the scent that actually she's more ready than I think.
Actually, I would love for them to have held her back to have her just appear at the Rumble. Yeah, that would be fucking.
And if she does, and she comes in at the Rumble, wins the whole thing, what would you book?
Rhea.
Has to be Rhea, and she has to beat her, doesn't she?
I think so.
Like that's to the fucking moon, isn't it?
That's exactly what they should.
As a huge Rhea fan, would that offend you though? Or do you think?
No, because I think if you're truly a fan of someone, you can't expect them to be permanently champion. It doesn't work. Like she needs to suffer the losses too. I think she's had a great run this time around. Bear in mind, she's had a title run before, and it probably wasn't as meaningful. This one's been a fucking great run, and I think somebody like Jade toppling her and it pushing Jade and elevating Jade, I think that's the perfect way to do it. And Rhea, she's got plenty of other things to do. Do you know what I mean? So.
And Jade becomes the Statlander in all this because essentially Rhea is the Jade of WWE.
Yeah.
She's undefeated.
Essentially, yeah.
So, yeah, Jade Cargill, Royal Rumble 2024 winner.
Yeah. No,
that's here first.
What number is she coming on?
I don't think it'd be like number one.
Okay.
I do think it'd be like a surprise in like the middle of the Rumble.
Okay.
But I think when she comes in, she's just going to absolutely decimate everybody.
Do you think they'll have any surprise returns that would complement Jade?
What do you mean? AEW wise? Or like...
well, not necessarily an AEW rock. I mean, AEW want to be a nice one to see, but like a return from a WWE alum, that might complement that quite well.
I don't know.
Like traditionally would have gone like another powerhouse like Beth Phoenix, but I mean, that seems considerably less likely right now.
Yeah.
But that kind of mentality, like anything you think there might happen as well?
No.
Okay then. Next.
I mean, Medusa came to mind, but I don't know whether she'd ever come back at this point.
Yeah.
But that was number one. Cody Rhodes will finish the story.
Which one?
He will defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, only to lose the title the next night or on the same night by a catch-in from Damian Priest.
I love it.
Because it's the most Cody thing ever. It's overbooked, it's overproduced. Just when you think he's finally got it, he loses it. He's going to set himself on fire again.
And then he goes for a whole redemption arc.
Yeah. Well, I said this a while ago. I definitely think when he wins that belt, he's not holding on to it for a long time. Because his whole thing has been about finishing the story. When he finishes that story, what the fuck's the next chapter? So it needs to be he finally did what his dad did do, but he couldn't put the title on his mantelpiece because before he had the chance, it was taken off him.
And he's that man there.
Now he realizes what a target you have on your back when you're the champ and all this kind of, it's just...
And then hopefully we get heel Cody.
Nah, won't happen.
We need a heel Cody.
Won't happen.
He's not a good face.
He refuses to do it.
He's not a good face.
Surprisingly, he is though, whether we think so or not.
He's
selling merch. The fans seem to love him, both the grown-ups and the kids. So I don't think we're getting that, unfortunately. But
he's a grown man dressed as a flag. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Roman dressed as a flag.
Right. Fine. He's over. Right. But I do actually really like the Damien cash in, and I think it should be done on that night.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, but I think there's something poetic about souring the story that quickly.
Could you imagine? I think after the only reason I didn't think that night, I thought maybe the next night on Raw or something.
Still let him have his moments, which I get.
Yeah,
I get why,
and also for the fans, because the fans have had to wait a whole year because it should have happened last year. Yeah. That's when he was red hot. That's when he deserved to do it. And he hasn't. In
WWE fashion, I think they'll probably be ready to do it, and if it doesn't get the pop they think it should have got, then that's when they'll do it that night.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because that is, it's been done before. But like, I'm not saying fans are fickle, but they can be. And if he doesn't get the reaction that they're expecting from WrestleMania 40, because we've got a while to go since then, I think I'm only noticing it from the internet trolls. So like, seeing's believing, and he still gets a decent pop when he's out there. But when you see more and more people like commenting like, he's over, he's over hyped and all this kind of stuff. People are starting to sour. And you go, well, it was electric last time, and I don't know if it'll be electric this time.
No.
And it's not me trying to be negative, but I think that's when they'll have Damien in the wings. So it's either, I could see them doing either, but I think they'll only cash in that night if they're going, you know what, this needs a bigger reaction.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's an interesting one as well, though, isn't it? Because the closing shot of WrestleMania 40 could be Damian Priest holding that title. On the one hand, it's like, does that set the precedent of pushing younger talent for the future? I
mean, that should be what you do. Yeah.
Or, because it's WrestleMania 40, is it more like, well, we're actually going to get, I don't know, Punk versus Austin as the main event, and that, it overshadows the title or whatever. But the only way I could maybe see it happening on the night is maybe after all this, Cody, because he never learns, goes to shake Roman's hand. Roman shakes his hand and then hits him with a Superman punch or something. Then Damien's music plays and he comes down and capitalizes that way. So Roman still had a hand to play in it.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. But... He finishes the story.
What are you setting up with that? Are you setting up a rematch against Damien, or a blood feud against Roman without the belts involved?
So it's set
Damien walked off
down the line, I think, because Roman will take some time off. Because he's so his schedule's so busy at the minute. Yeah. I think it sets up Damien and Cody battling for the belt again, but then it sets up something in the future again with Roman if we need to.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
So yeah, Cody finishes the story, loses the belt very, very quickly thereafter.
I like it.
Sting.
What's this fucking music album?
Will wrestle.
I sound like an old man then. Can I redo that bit? That music album? That just sounded like...
Looks like one of those LPs.
I give up. Let's just carry on.
Sting will wrestle Darby Allin in his last match.
I think that'd be a poetic end.
I do. Yeah. Maybe not that wild, actually.
Do you want to do it as a respectful thing, though, or as a heel thing? That could be the wild one, is that, he turns on him.
Yeah, imagine that. I do think... With it being Sting's final match, has been built up so much, and it's in North Carolina and everything. I do think it'll be like a respect thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Sting will go out on his back. He'll put Darby over as the future, and then they'll celebrate and everything. And it feels poetic. Because who else do you do at this point? You don't want it to be Ric Flair.
I really don't.
No.
Goldberg.
You want that to happen?
No.
Is that your wild prediction?
No.
Is it going to be? Is Tony Khan breaking glass for Goldberg?
I think Goldberg is going to be on this journey at some point.
Oh, no.
I don't know if it'll be his last match, but I think he's going to be part of Sting's farewell.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it's such a Tony move, especially right now, because people will go, "Oh, that's Goldberg. We know Goldberg."
Yeah.
Because I don't care what people say. I know people still love AEW, and I've still got a lot of love for AEW, but it is almost like a bit panic reaction at the minute with the whole let's get Ric Flair in, let's do this.
Could you imagine
see them bring
we make it all the way to Revolution, Sting's opponents unannounced, Sting enters, gets the thing, and then it's Goldberg's music. Everyone's like, "Holy shit, it's Goldberg!" Spears him, pins him in 5 seconds.
And he just looked at Darby and goes, "You're next!"
Yeah, and that's Sting's end. Could you imagine?
The heat.
Jeez. But yeah, so maybe not all that wild, but I think, it seems the most poetic, as you said.
No, I agree.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Starks leaves AEW and heads to NXT.
I could very much see this happening. But, you know what I will say?
What?
This would be a really bad move for Ricky Starks.
Think so?
He's not a WWE guy.
Think he'd be the Lexus King treatment?
Worse.
And
that's saying something because I fucking hate Lexus King.
Yeah, I
don't think he's a WWE guy. I don't think he'll fit into the WWE machine. I think he kind of does well in what he does now. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm being too negative about the guy, but do you know when somebody is exactly where they should be position wise? Like, this is one of them scenarios where I'm not even sure WWE fans would be like, oh yeah, WWE will treat him better, because he's getting treated exactly like he's getting treated quite well in AEW for the position he's in.
He's tag champion at the minute. Yeah. So,
and it's like, I don't think he could go to WWE and people go, oh yeah, they'll treat him right, because he's not been treated bad by AEW, but he's been treated at the level that he should be at.
Do you know what I think could happen for him though? And I think we'll both admit we never saw this happening either, but he gets the LA Knight treatment. But for some reason he just clicks with the fans.
I mean, that could happen.
And all of a sudden, like, Ricky Starks is now like the LA Knight of WWE. But I do think he goes to NXT. At the end of the day, he's Cody's boy. He's in the little group with Cody and stuff, isn't he? He was there for him at the Royal Rumble and all that.
He's Cody.
I just don't think he's got much left to do in AEW. It's not gone amazingly for him. I don't think it should have gone better, really. I'm not a massive Ricky Starks fan.
I think he should introduce a new finisher in NXT called the Code E.
I like it. But yeah, so Ricky Starks to NXT.
I mean, that is an interesting one. And I still don't know how I feel about it. Okay. I really don't. I mean, this isn't the time and place to talk about Lexis King, but some people, it doesn't matter where you put them.
Some people are loving Lexis King, saying this is what AEW should have done with him and stuff. And
give him a shit beard.
Exactly.
Oh, look at that. No skills on the mic at all.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Interesting, but I do think we might see Ricky Starks leave. Speaking of people leaving, Karrion, Kross and Scarlett
doesn't he look happy?
Get released again.
Doesn't she look puzzled?
Yeah.
He looks very happy, though.
He does.
Where are they?
Exactly. He's another classic example of someone Triple H brought back, didn't have a fucking clue what they're going to do with them, done nothing other than eat every single loss he possibly could have done.
Oh, he's done nothing but eat. That's where he's been, catering.
Okay. Carrying hot cross bun. But yeah, so I just don't think it's going to work out for him.
I don't think he's a WWE guy. I was a bit shocked when he did return, because he did fantastic in NXT and he was treated like a monster. But the minute, like, he's in SmackDown, he's having a feud with Ray where he's not even looking that dominant, that's when you go, they've lost the point.
They've lost
the point.
He's lost to everyone.
He could have been Taker-esque in the way he was presented, and the fucking ruined it on the main roster. They totally.
It was brilliant in NXT, wasn't it? The whole, like, so much intrigue. Those two as a couple, as a collective, were just the whole package. Really,
maybe none of us. Well, we've been honest about it as fans, but maybe no one there realizes that it's because he's got hair.
I think
it would be like, I don't know why we can't get this guy over.
Skinhead Kross.
Just shave the hair off.
It works. Maybe that's why she's so puzzled.
She's just not used to. She's like, why are they booing?
Yeah, I don't understand. But yeah, I think.
So, what do you think's going to happen though? Do you think he's going to leave WWE? But are we talking
TikTok on?
Are we heading over to? Is he going to control his narrative again, or is he going to head over to Impact, or what are we talking? Going to have a run in Japan again?
I think maybe TNA. They'll be looking for stars.
Oh yeah, TNA again now.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking for stars.
I think now's the time for TNA, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think Scarlett maybe wants to wrestle more as well, and WWE just isn't giving her the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and I don't get why that is.
So I think maybe she would do. And TNA's got a fantastic women's division, so would bolster that to some degree.
Yeah, she'd bolster the TNA.
She would definitely bolster the TNA. Yeah, so Karrion Kross gets released.
Yeah, I could see that, sadly.
Next one I want to talk to you about, I don't know how you feel about this one. Bron Breakker dethrones Gunther.
Bullshit. Bron Breakker is just...
Hang on, let me pass your soapbox.
I don't get it. He's another awkward as fuck on the mic, barely talented in the ring kind of dude. Like, he's big. He's muscular. That's it. That's what he's got.
He's not even that big. He's wide.
That worked for Hogan. Yeah, but I mean, even Hogan was more charismatic, if we're honest. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
They seem to fucking love this guy, right? They've alluded to when they had the whole, the main roster invades NXT for some ratings episode. Paul Heyman was basically calling him the future and that he's going to manage him one day and all this.
What can they see in him?
Yeah.
What can we see? He's not big and imposing enough to be the next Brock Lesnar. He's not charismatic enough to be the next Rock. I have to think of someone who had charisma.
Maybe that's the problem.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like some Jersey Shore guy. Like, I don't understand the gimmick at all.
Yeah. He's a perfect blend of Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner, isn't he? So he shouts a lot.
But Scott Steiner was insane. That's why we like him.
Stuff he says doesn't make sense.
But
So
Scott Steiner's stuff didn't make sense in sort of a fantastically crazy way.
yeah.
We haven't had any Steiner match from this guy.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
The only match we have with this guy is it doesn't fucking add up.
Give me the soapbox back there.
Sorry.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I want this to happen. I just think Gunther's at a point now where who beats him?
I mean, I get the idea of using the dethrone of the dethroning of Gunther to elevate someone coming up from NXT. I get that. But Bron, really?
I just think he's the guy that we want. And I don't think there's anyone on the main roster currently who benefits, really. Like, who do you do? Like Ricochet?
Chad Gable.
Yeah, they could do, but they've teased it that many times. He's come up short that many times.
Chad Gable.
Not what I meant.
Chad freaking Gable.
Yeah.
Look, Bron, like, he's just mid. He's so fucking mid.
He is. But I think that's what's going to happen.
He's vanilla. He's the vanilla of wrestlers.
I like vanilla. I don't like Bron Breakker. So there is that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wouldn't be a fan of it myself, but I do think that's what we might see. Bron Breakker dethrones Gunther.
I mean, I get to see him get chopped?
Oh yeah, lots of times.
Oh,
so at least you'll enjoy that. So the next one, I think WWE will try and regain the attendance record figure.
I mean, surely they can just lie about it, Carl.
Well, they could. And I think they're going to try and do it at SummerSlam. So we don't know where SummerSlam's going to take place yet, but there's big talk of them doing something in like Mexico, like the Azteca Stadium. And I think they're going to go all in to beat that figure.
Okay.
Just to prove they can, more than anything.
Yeah.
And I think going to a market like Mexico, which has been crying out for a PLE, give them SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's how you get big attendance, isn't it? Go to an area that's kind of doesn't get the WWE treatment very often.
Yeah.
They proved that with Cardiff.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think they're going to do it. I think they probably will get there as well, because they could fill that stadium in Mexico 1,000,000%. And you think of all the stuff they've been doing with the LWO, bringing in Carlito, and Damian Priest is ready to become champ and stuff as well. You know what I mean? He's got the whole Puerto Rico thing there. They'll probably bring.
Just like, tons of minority. That's what we need. They might like other wrestlers as well, Carl.
They might do. But if you look at the way everyone's being positioned from from a Latin, shut up. You know what I mean? But it just makes sense.
I get what you're saying. I'm gonna kid.
It could be Rey Mysterio's last match.
You think they're gonna retire him soon? I know he keeps talking
about him because he won't do it himself.
He keeps retiring
you. Maybe.
I mean, the poetry.
Maybe
the poetry.
The poetry would be
Dom, wouldn't it? As much as you don't want to see it again, Dom should retire his dad.
Yeah, I do think that because we've had that at Mania, though, I just don't know whether it works. I think they're going to go with...
Dom is becoming slowly more fleshed out as a wrestler, isn't he?
Yeah.
So for them to have a rematch when he's actually more legitimate in the ring,
I think they're going to go with Dragon Lee. I think they also might try and set that Guinness record they wanted to set of like most lucha masks worn, like by a crowd.
Oh, not by an individual.
No,
just Ray comes out like that. I can't breathe.
Could I be wearing any more masks? So yeah, I think that's what we're getting.
All right, I like it
as well.
I like it. I can see them doing that. What do you think AEW's reaction would be?
Oh no!
I love it.
That's what I think.
I mean, do you think there will be a reaction like we need to try and bust attendance figures on our
No
side?
chance.
No,
because they can't.
Well, I mean, that's true at the minute. They really can't.
Unless I can't think of a market that they're as big in as the UK, and they've done that.
That is true.
And they're coming back now. They've said it's going to be an annual thing. They will not sell as many tickets this year as they did last year.
I mean, that's the way of it, isn't it? Because it was like a rare thing the first time, and then you'll get some different people, but there'll be plenty of people who went last time and won't need to go this time and stuff like that. So
it's not like it's cheap either, is it? You know what I mean? People will have fucking spent a lot of money, and it's like, oh, I can't spend that again every year.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, there's no chance, I think.
That's true.
The next one, and I think it'd be well deserved. Mickie James is inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and rightly so.
Criminal that she's not been done already.
Indeed.
That's not what I mean. Criminal that she's not been inducted already. But you think Nick Aldis is there now as well?
Think he'll induct her?
Maybe.
I think it'd be more poetic that Trish does, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Trish is definitely the one, but
think we're going to get another Mickie and WWE run or match at least?
I honestly don't know, and I think
we still have that massive shock of her being the Impact champion whilst being in the Rumble, which is
that in itself
crazy.
Is a Hall of Fame moment.
Like, people just kind of let that pass by, but that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's a WWE forbidden door, isn't it?
It's a crazy relationship thing that they haven't revisited again.
No.
Madness.
So, that in itself, but yeah, Trish would make the most sense. I don't think we'd ever see her back full time or anything like that because they've got a kid, do you know what I mean? And I think Nick Aldis is the guy who's on the road now.
At this point, I don't think they need to, do they?
No.
But I'm just thinking if it's getting around the time of the Hall of Fame and she is going to be an inductee, you make some appearances, don't you?
Well,
maybe have a match.
Yeah, to be fair. I'd love to see her involved in WrestleMania somehow, some way.
Good. Do you think she'll rock out the Rumble? The Hardcore Country again?
Hardcore Country. Well, I don't know whether she's actually... Is she done with Impact now? With TNA?
I'm not sure.
Maybe. So I don't know whether she would come back as like Hardcore Country or whether it would be...
It's their song.
Yeah.
What the fuck she wants.
I suppose it could be the fact she introduced it, as part under Impact. Yeah, don't know. But I think this would be very well deserved. There's a couple of other names as well floating around at the minute. I think Bray Wyatt is a name that's being discussed.
I think that'd be like really a really good way of honouring him.
Yeah, and I think someone who definitely deserves it now, he's back there as well, is William Regal.
Yeah.
In fact, he's not.
That's crazy. To be honest, my instinct was like, he's already there. But like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, he definitely.
They're the people I'd like to see, but definitely Mickie.
Be a way of getting him on TV without breaking the rules. Can't break the rules.
Speaking of TNA, this is maybe the wildest one of all. AJ Styles goes back to TNA.
I could kind of see that.
I think he's been gone for so long. He's dealing with an injury. It was Vince who loved AJ. He saw him as like his next Shawn Michaels, not Trips. So I think with Trips running the place now, maybe you might get something with
CM Punk. Went Shawn Michaels. Very cool.
Well, you love that little comeback from Shawn Michaels saying, "I'm not small when I'm standing on my wallet."
Ah, nice. Yeah, I remember
that. But yeah, I think AJ may come back for a little bit, do something with Gallows and Anderson. It's all that shit with me and everything was all shite, wasn't it? And then he's gone off injured.
It's AJ's not the problem. It's the fact they keep trying to make Gallows and Anderson a thing.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, they've never had a really good run in WWE.
No.
I don't know why they keep trying.
But I also think he's not going to be anywhere near the title picture anytime soon.
Mr. Trouble WWE have got is too many world champ worthy people.
Yeah,
you can't go and all be world champ. So,
and I think he's done Japan. He's did Impact to begin with, did TNA to begin with.
Japan.
He's conquered everything he could do in WWE. I don't think he ever thought he'd be a success, as much as he was. So going back to TNA again,
I think it'd be great.
Poetry.
I think it'd be great. And it doesn't necessarily have to be done in that way. We've just mentioned about the Forbidden Door. I mean, maybe you could have some level of return to TNA without actually leaving WWE.
Yeah, it's a hell of a foresight to say, we'll lend you Mickie for a Rumble, but we want AJ in 3 years.
It's just like kids playing with the fucking trading cards now. I think this.
Yeah.
I'll trade you a Mickie for.
Tony comes in with his full-on briefcase of his fucking.
Exactly. Hey guys.
Are we trading? No.
You just want all the cards, don't you?
Even if you don't trade it, I might get my daddy to buy it anyway. So.
You probably don't know this, but this one's super important. So I got it from Japan. It's like, we know.
This is mint #1 condition. The bird card ever made. Probably worth more than your house.
Sorry. Anyway.
So, me, I think that's a nice way to give me some wiggle room there. Maybe it won't be a permanent thing. Maybe they'll just let him go over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking it's not entirely impossible when you look at the Mickie situation. There's never been a quid pro quo, as it were. She got to appear in WWE. They never got anything back in return. And you go, well, maybe that relationship is still there and still fostered, and they can still have something like that. And probably the most synonymous name in WWE at the minute, who was a TNA guy, is AJ.
100%.
Without a doubt. So
yeah, maybe Samoa Joe goes over there from AEW as well. You never know.
Who knows?
The next one, Judgment Day will be over by SummerSlam.
They'll have had their day.
Yeah, Judgment Day will have had their day by SummerSlam. I don't know where else it goes from here now. We brought in JD McDonough, which, all right, we get it, TikTok, you fucking love him, right?
He's talking RKO.
But, right, what are they going to do now? They've teased breaking up a million times. As soon as Damian wins that title, or cashes in and everything, that's the beginning of the end, because Finn will start getting jealous. There'll be something going on between Mami and Dom, because they won't stay together forever. They'll split up.
We've been waiting for the implosion between Finn and Damian forever.
Yeah.
Really, haven't we?
Yeah.
McDonough's been a distraction from that.
Yeah.
But we've been waiting for them two to implode forever. And you're right. But it's one of them things where you go, like, are we just thinking rather old school and you go, well, the faction has to break up at some point, do they? Can they all just go and do their own thing and they never actually break up?
I mean, they could do, but I feel like what's left for them to do now? Every week it's like, the Judgment Day have got the numbers advantage. It's boring.
I mean, they have got the numbers advantage.
We
don't have a bloodline anymore.
Well, yeah, it's incredibly boring. They've obviously lost the War Games match and stuff, so now they're just kind of still there, not really doing a whole lot. We've had the whole thing, who's the leader? Is it Rhea? Is it Damien? Is it Finn?
Who's the leader? It's Rhea.
Like,
it's always been Rhea.
We've played it all out, so I don't think there's much else for them to do. So I do think by SummerSlam, they'll be gone.
I could see that. It's a shame. It's been a nice run. Better than I expected, actually.
Indeed. Well, they're dead. So, next one, AEW blows open the forbidden door.
Damn.
What I mean by that is, it's not just AEW and New Japan anymore, because they've introduced WrestleDream now, and that honors Inoki every year as an annual event. I don't think Forbidden Door needs to just be a co-promotion between AEW and New Japan. I think Tony's going to go, do you know what? I want everyone. I want
the marbles.
CMLL, I want Impact or TNA.
You just make WrestleDream like any promotion is willing to play ball.
No, sorry. So I think WrestleDream is just the New Japan and AEW thing.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking expand WrestleDream into...
No, sorry.
Okay, I mean, because they're honouring Inoki.
Yeah, so because that just becomes the New Japan and AEW
Forbidden
one.
Door becomes
Forbidden Door
any
is
company
really
gets involved.
Yeah, is really what it should be. It's not really that. It's not the Forbidden Door anymore because they're in a working relationship.
It's just a door now.
So it should just be, well, actually, we're going to get people from all over.
Unless they call it open.
And I think, to be fair, it'd be a smart move from Tony because they've not got many advantages now at the minute over WWE. So to be able to say, well, we're still the one company that will give you matches with the top talent in all companies.
Yeah. And then WWE can either join in or they can not. And to be honest, won't harm them either way. But...
No, and they won't, to be fair, because they're stubborn.
I mean, it depends on the level of stubbornness. Like, if they have a talent who really wants to have a particular match, I think Triple H is probably more likely than Vince ever was to go, I get it. You know?
Yeah. I don't think they'd allow it in there. I don't know.
I think you'd probably get some mad stipulation, like he can come and do the match, but he has to wear like a WWE flag and he has to win. You know, that kind of thing.
Okay, maybe. But yeah, for me, Forbidden Door becomes like wide open to everyone. And I think we start to see the top talent from all the promotions involved in it. And it's not just a New Japan and AEW anymore.
I get
saved that for WrestleDream.
Yeah, boy.
The next one, we finally get an NXT expansion. I don't know if it's going to be to Europe. I don't know if it's going to be Japan. I don't know what they're going to do.
There was talk of NXT Europe was going to replace NXT UK.
Yeah.
And
nothing's happened.
So
I think now that the merger's gone through, they are now like TKO. They know that there's a market there that they can get into.
See, Japan is a really tough one to break into.
Yeah.
Their wrestling scene is pretty locked down, isn't it? So I think Europe would be the way to go.
Yeah. So I can see it finally happen. I think it would have happened sooner if it wasn't for. I think they've known for a while that they're going to sell the company. They want to get that all out the way. They've known about the Vince thing. So yeah, I think we might start. I'm not saying it's going to launch necessarily next year, but I think we'll at least finally find out what the plan is for it next year.
Well, I'll throw you another wild one out. I think Drew's going to be the head of it.
Drew? Really?
The only way to keep him.
I can't see that happening at all.
He's going to be the face of
because he's married and lives in Tampa now. So I don't think he wants to move back.
He's a Scottish man. Who would want to move back? Scottish man in the sun.
Yeah,
of course he wants to leave.
But he just wears a kilt all the time. So it's breezy between his balls.
There's no breeze in Tampa.
You're not wrong. But yeah, I think we find out what's going on with that. Yeah. Speaking, oh no, that's the next one. We'll get to that.
Carl, speaking.
So at least one major WWE star will retire.
5 according to John Cena.
So we mentioned Rey Mysterio and stuff before. I do think he's the most likely. He's also the oldest.
Brock hates people.
And Brock does hate people. Cena's alluded to it. I don't think he's going to carry on forever. So
Cena's too much of a company guy to ever properly retire. I think this is
about Taker.
I think this is him retired. Taker's retired, but I reckon if they said come back, like and do this thing for me, he'd be like, yeah, maybe less likely. Vince left with Triple H. Fucking hell, Undertaker left with Vince.
Yeah,
he was loyal to Vince, not so much. I mean, he is obviously he's a company guy, but I don't think he'd have the same relationship with Triple H. Where Triple H went, "We need you." He'd be like, yeah. But even since his retirement, he come back and appeared on NXT and fucking hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he still make appearances. I don't think he'll ever get in the ring again. And when I say I think John Cena will retire, I think he won't ever wrestle again.
I don't know. I could see them going, we need one more match out of you, John. And like, yeah.
He will do. And it'll be next year, his retirement match.
They could say it when he's 70, be like, yeah, let me get the golden shovel. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's definitely John. I do think it's going to be someone, either Brock, Ray, John, maybe, I don't know. Who else is there? There's going to be someone. Even the Miz at this point. Maybe the Miz might have had enough.
I'd have retired if I was the Miz.
Yeah, God, me too. Stay home in bed every day. But anyway, yeah. So that's what I think. Speaking of Drew McIntyre, right?
That's why I was keying you up on. Jesus.
Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, maybe one or both of them head to AEW.
I don't think Sheamus will.
Well, the reason I say this, so Sheamus is really close to Triple H, so I get why. I get your reservations with all that. Oh. They're also really close with Cesaro, or Claudio Castagnoli, as he's now known. With the likes of CM Punk and that coming in, Sheamus is more likely for me than Drew, because I just don't know. He's never going back to the main event again in WWE.
I know, but hasn't he got like...
There's just the Intercontinental title.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't he got some sort of spinal issues where he's not really going to be wrestling for that much longer anyway, or have I made that up?
Maybe, but that's why it'd be perfect for AEW, to be fair. They sign lots of guys who aren't going to be wrestling for that much longer.
Well, if he came over to AEW, would he be the Blackpool Combat Club with Claudio?
I think so. Because it's kind of dead on its ass, that now. And Wheeler Yuta's a problem. I think he comes in and he fucking kicks Wheeler Yuta in the face and goes, what the fuck are you thinking? Yeah. Gets rid of him and goes, now we're the Blackpool Combat Club. But yeah, like I'd love to see Drew, Sheamus, Cesaro, the new Blackpool Combat Club. 3 big, burly, badass men.
It's not what BCC stands for anymore.
Slapping meat. Yeah. Lost my train of thought there. Dribbled a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I could get it. Like, I think the tease of Drew being unhappy and leaving is too obvious to be an actual thing.
Yeah, the tease. Right.
Yeah. I think it's probably not going to happen because they're making it too obvious that he's unhappy.
Yeah.
But whilst it's in the realms of possibility, let's make a wild prediction and go.
Well, exactly. I really want him to be back in the main event scene. I just can't see how he gets there at the moment. Well, unless they do something with Cody and Drew.
Unless they get, CM Punk out of the way and Cody Rhodes out the way and Damian Priest out the way.
LA Knight out the way.
And Seth Rollins out the way.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Exactly. So I think he could be someone who is just the star of the company.
Yeah.
So, final one. CM Punk doesn't last a year.
It's possible.
And I don't necessarily mean that's because he's going to lose his mind over glass and start beating people up backstage. I don't mean that necessarily.
Muffins?
But also, if you think of his time in AEW, he was plagued with injuries.
Yeah.
And I'd never will this or wish this on him by any means. But I just don't think whether it's because of an injury, whether it's because of unhappiness. Like, if you think when he joined AEW, he was fucking beaming, wasn't he? He loved life. He was hugging everyone. He was so grateful. Kind of what he's like now. He's back in WWE. Problem with Punk is,
so many people really soured on his promo. They were like, oh, it's PG Punk and it's just the exact same thing he said when he joined AEW, and you can tell he's not really meaning it, and you can tell WWE have told him to say I'm home and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, I'm not even sure people are convinced that like these are true words coming from him. And I think he's happy to be back. I don't know, sadly, when he doesn't like something, he kind of dwells on it. And I think it won't take long for him to be unhappy with something in WWE, because he historically didn't like everything about WWE.
No.
And I don't think he's good at letting certain things go.
No, well, 1,000,000%. That describes him to a T. And if you've got someone in Triple H who he already doesn't like, basically saying stuff to him like no, when he's like, but I don't want you telling me no. He's going to be unhappy.
Yeah. I want ice cream bars. It's like, we've talked about this.
Yes. And then, everything implodes. So I just don't, he can't help himself. So I think he's gone back there to make a shitload of cash. He's going to make that cash.
He's not here to make friends.
Exactly. Going to make that cash, and something's going to trigger him, or he's going to get injured, and it's just going to be like, do you know what? Nah, done.
I mean, because I actually think, do you not think some of what set him off in AEW was the frustration of being injured? I think he's frustrating himself with that, like when he enters sport and stuff. Because, bear in mind that, like, what was it called? The fucking scrum when he went a bit nuts. They have a nickname for it, don't they? And it was like, I'm hurt, I'm tired, etc. And it seemed like it came out of a lot of frustration of like, I've just had this match and now I'm fucking injured.
Because he knew he just won the belt and he was fucked. And he's like, I have to give it up.
So that frustration was like internal, wasn't it? That's not an AEW thing. That's this is fucking annoying thing. Yeah. And like you said,
I think the whole thing with him and Ryback, that whole thing, that's what caused his departure in the first place. Is he felt Ryback was unsafe, got an injury, he wasn't treated. Yeah, and then that was it. He fucking went ballistic. So if he even stumps his fucking toe, he's fucking gone. He's going apeshit.
Work with fucking clowns.
Absolute ham. So yeah, they be my 2024 wild predictions. Maybe not the wildest, but definitely the predictionist.
Yeah, and definitely in 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know in the comments. What do you think? I'm just absolutely batshit crazy? Do you disagree with everything?
No. Yes, they do.
Okay. Well, at least, thanks for the comments, I guess. But yeah, do all the good stuff. Like, subscribe, download, and we'll catch you on the next one.